I can't believe Gavin, though, who plays Jeremiah in the show, is actually married in real life. Just sit that for a minute. But anyways, Summer I Done Pretty, I think, is coming back in July 2025, which I'm actually really happy about because July is my birthday month, so it's like ka-ching. I get to have to watch that in that month. But so basically, I can obviously explain to you guys about Summer I Turned Pretty if you haven't watched it already. I think Summer I Turned Pretty has quite mixed reviews though, in terms of like, even when I was just researching it just a moment ago, people do talk about how they think the acting is not good. Yeah, it's just something like, oh, that reviewers have found the acting to be awkward, stiff and terrible, while the writing was considered poor, cringe and disappointing. But I'm sure this is isn't this by Jenny Han? Yeah, I think, remember? Yeah, it's by Jenny Han. So Jenny Han, who did what's it called? All the Words I Loved Before and XOK, right? So I think Jenny Han is a really good what's it called? She's a really good author, storyteller, of course. And yeah, although people think that the show can be a bit cringe, I think the Summer I Turned Pretty gives you everything that you ask from it, okay? Even when my first episode of this podcast ever was about love triangles, and obviously that is what Summer I Turned Pretty revolves around. It's not bad. It's not a bad love triangle, but I mean, it's just one of those love triangles again, which is obviously not even like, I don't know, not like a friend group, which sometimes I like those love triangles better than a love triangle which involves siblings, because I feel like the sibling ones are sad because it kind of tears apart the sibling dynamic all for a girl. Do you know what I mean? I mean, either way, actually, even with friends, it's still gonna rip it apart too. But the thing for me, I'm just like, Conrad and Jeremiah are brothers, and so much has happened to them. Which, on the subject of that, I need to go back, and I feel like before the final season comes out, which I have time to do because we're in April, and it comes out in July. That I need to go back and I need to rewatch basically, but not like all of it, but I just probably need to go back to like, I don't know, like, maybe just, so obviously just the previous season anyways. I mean, the previous season was crazy. It was crazy. That's what I'm saying, like, the show is not all bad. Like, obviously the last season something dramatic happened, and then that kind of made the love triangle even worse, or had it on its fringes, because of what happened was so great. I'm just like, oh, if you won't know what I'm talking about unless you check or unless you watch it. So, but so far obviously it has 2 seasons on Amazon Prime at the moment. But I guess even though I'm not like an avid love triangle watcher, and I haven't been for a very long time, it's something I spoke about, in episode 1. I was saying how, I don't seek love triangles sometimes, like, they just find me, and then, no, I think Vampire Diaries is the main one that obviously, it's the one that I basically say to people is my yes, and it's the only one that I really want to have conversations about. I think I mentioned Twilight as well, but not really, because it's just like, I always feel sorry on love triangles. That's why I can't watch it, because it's just like, I don't like it when the second person's not getting any kind of success. I feel sad, very much so, because that was what I was saying, because I was talking about Jubilee in episode 1, and I was saying that Sojourn from Jubilee, like, he was so upset that he couldn't be with John when he was crying. Like, my guy was distraught, and it's just so sad. But I feel like this one does, like, I don't know, it does grow on you when you start it. So if you're like me and you're not even really, I don't know, that crazy about love angles, I feel like it grows on you, because it's like, it doesn't feel like a life triangle that's just, I don't know, is supposed to happen. Like, Twilight feels like a love triangle that's supposed to happen. So does, I don't know, I want to say so does Vampire Diaries. But then again, no. In my rewatch of Vampire Diaries, it's like I'm thinking to myself, oh, it wasn't always just going to be the case. Or it didn't feel like it was going to be the case that Elena was going to end up with Damon. I think it's weird that they did that also, because obviously they just had her be with both of them just in the same way that Catherine was. And I was like, I didn't like that. Because it's like, it's the same story done twice, but just a different person. Or yeah, well, you're dating your ex's doppelganger, and I'm like, that's really weird, because obviously, I don't know, of course that's what I would think. I'd be like, oh yeah, so you like your ex, because that's weird. Any of us would think that. Do you know what I mean? We would be like, oh. And I think, yeah, that happens in real life. Do you know what I mean? When someone breaks up with somebody and they come out with somebody else, and then the person looks like not even far away from you, and you're like, well, okay, you just dated a copy of me. That's weird. And that's obviously what those two have done. But they like to say, oh yeah, like, oh, Elena isn't Catherine, and we're like, okay, but she looks exactly like her, so that's you guys' appeal. Otherwise, why are you with her? But moving on. I'm saying, like, I think with Belly and Jeremiah and Conrad, I like that it's like, you know, all three of them are friends. Which I sometimes think, yeah, like, when there's a group, and I mean they're family friends, sorry. When it's like that, I think it's more relaxed, it's more chillax, and it's like, wow, like, if something comes out of it, then sure, but it's not like a must have. And then obviously the concept of Somewhere I Turned Pretty is, yeah, like, Belly was young, and like, or when she was younger, she didn't really appeal to the guys, and none of them were looking at her, and she, what's it called, she was obviously quite nerdy, and then like, she was wearing glasses and she had braces, and yeah, all that jam, all that stuff, yeah. And that's always a great kind of, what do we call it, trope or angle to go for, when you have a character who's not really looked at by people, and then, do you know what I mean, and she gets, like, looked at afterwards. It makes me think of Ugly Betty, actually. But moving on, so yeah, so she's not really seen by them. Then obviously she gets pretty, and then, do you know what I mean, the brothers are interested in her, both of them, at the same damn time. But moving on, no, but yeah, it's just at the same time, and she has to just balance that. But but I think that love triangles, yeah, but they have the same, I don't know, they have the same rule book. Like, make it something different, you know what I mean? Do something else. I just mean that, like, even Conrad and Jeremiah, they feel like a Stefan and Damon, but just obviously they have different names. It's just because I meant, you know, Conrad, he's sweet, but he also isn't. But, you know, hold on, it's weird. I don't feel like he used to be sweet. In the last season, you'll see his shift, right? That's what I mean. We're all gonna be like, oh, because you know sometimes that happens. They'll have you turn on the other guy, and you'll be like, oh, he's rude, he's weird. I think that's the same way that it goes through Stefan as well, because Stefan does all this stuff. Remember where he's, I don't know, trying to not go back to, what's it called? Yeah, he tries not to go back to drinking blood, right? But then obviously that affects him in Elaine's relationship. But all I'm saying is that I feel like with Conrad it's also like that. You know, when you know that that's the guy, that's the right guy, even though whether he's the right guy we don't know, because obviously what happens in Vampire Diaries, as we know, is like it was the concept of who's the better guy, and then I don't know, it comes to be Damon, even though he's the more reckless one and he's the one who's crazy. And supposedly, when I was researching again, they said that Jeremiah is bisexual. Something I didn't even know. Was I not paying attention? Probably. I do that sometimes. I mean, obviously, I've watched some Turn Pretty since it came out, which was obviously in 2022, I think. Right? Oh, I think the Wi-Fi's going. Yes, like I said, 2022. Sorry about that, because I was thinking it was the Wi-Fi. But no, so I've watched it since 2022, yeah, and it's like, I don't know if I can, like, remember everything. So, no, if they had mentioned that about Jeremiah and I just didn't notice, of course, we just obviously know that he's basically, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has Damon traits anyways. That he's seen as somebody who's just very popular and I meant like charming with people, but as I said, I don't know if they really explored his bisexuality really. You can obviously tell me if I'm wrong. Do you know what I mean? It's like people don't ever really do that. But if I'm wrong, let me know. And I feel like even though people are like, "Oh, so My Turn Pretty isn't that great," I've heard it has a big fan base, and I think the appeal has also been, Taylor Swift, right? Because Taylor Swift was in like season, is it 2 or no or 1? Hold on, actually, I think it was season 2 or 1. Because it was either season 2 or 1. So yeah, it might have been season 1, episode 7, I feel like. But yeah, I'm saying that obviously Taylor Swift's like music is in the show as well, and it fits the show perfectly as well. But I'm saying I do feel like it has a big fan base, and people like love triangles. That's what I mean. I don't necessarily, because obviously what I mentioned, but people do like them. So, and I feel like people, when I just asked that question, people who watch My Turn Pretty would know if they really have, or are they just saying he's bisexual just because they can? Because this is the thing, I was checking if there was any, I think the thing on Google said, is there any LGBTQ characters in the show, and then it only just said Jeremiah was, and I was like, that's it, and that's, I feel like, maybe sometimes even for a straight show such as this, that's not that great to hear, because I think, you expect there to at least be 2 or 3, if anything, rather than just 1. And especially it's the guy whose affections are just towards Belly. Like, do you know what I mean? He's not really into anybody else. To get it? He's literally just into Belly. So I'm just like, where is the, I don't know. But it's not, because I don't know. It's not as though, because this is what, I don't want to say that I'm disregarding bisexuality, because obviously that's sometimes a conversation, but I'm not saying I am. It's just like, I just don't feel like the show has really explored that much with us, in my personal opinion. And it would have been nice if they did. But then it would have been nice, obviously, like I'm saying in general, if they had more characters who they had more characters which identified that way. So, do you know what I mean? Well, maybe they don't want it to be like that. I think this show kind of has a kind of, 90210 feel to it. Kind of. Maybe it's because they're on a beach that I say that. Possibly. What's wrong with that? But it does. It has that feel. And everyone's just, chillaxing, being teens. having a love triangle, going a bit crazy. It's just that kind of vibe. And I believe it fits so well as well. Taylor Swift's music, I mean, that's what I said. It fits so well. Like, I, even myself, just listening to Seven from Taylor Swift's Folklore album, and I feel like Seven matches with Sunrise Don't Pray. And I think if you've seen the edits, you know what I'm talking about. And I've seen them. I'm even about to look up some edits now. Just to see. And to give myself a refresher, actually. That's what I was talking about. I need a refresher on the show. And then I still probably will have to rewatch it anyway. But, I just need to have a look now. Yeah, like I said, Childhood Best Friends to Love is one of the best. Yeah, they're one of the best love triangle arcs anyways. That's what I'm saying. Argue with your mother. But seriously, they are one of the best, because that's what I'm saying. The ones where it just feels like you're thrown into it it's disgusting. When it's gradual, oh my god. Yes, give me that. Give me a slice and a cup of hot chocolate on the side, because I'm sad and I'm ready. You know what I mean? And I just need it, you know? And I think it's something I wanted for myself. You know, when you watch Childhood Lovers and you're just like, they had something great. They had something grand. That even makes me think about, I'm meant to be doing a past lives episode as well, and that's Childhood Lovers. I was just like, that's even more heartbreaking than this show. But yeah, just it's a bit too much. But I was going to touch on one of the themes actually in this show. Even though obviously one of the themes, main theme, romance, I feel like it's also friendship as well. Do you know what I mean? So obviously mainly Susanna, Belly's mum, they have a great friendship, and I think they're great. Do you know what I mean? They support each other. They support their children. Please. They do everything. And then I think, well, obviously friendship, because, yeah, I mean, all of them hanging out together and having good times. I guess until they don't. But, yeah. That's all. I left that there. But, yeah. So it is a great show. And you should watch it, okay? I think also it's not even a hard show to catch up on, actually, because when I was looking, I think there's 8 episodes in each season. So season 1, season 2, yeah, they're both 8, and then 8 episodes, sorry, and then obviously you have the final season coming out soon. So it's like, it's a very good time to even jump into it now. I feel like, because you can catch up before the one comes out in July. And July has, loads of months away. I know that I will be doing this. I mean, not that I will be watching it for the time, of course. I mean, I will be rewatching, like I said, because obviously I need that. I need that refresher. And I don't know. Because, you know, actually the question that I always do, and it's like we pose it to the audience, we say who, and I think it's like love triangles, you say who, what side are you on? And you know, that's what I mean. I need to go back. I need to decide for myself. I couldn't tell you. I feel like at the very beginning, I was Jeremiah. Genuinely, I was. And people will be like, no, you're pretending. You became Jeremiah halfway. But no, I've literally been Jeremiah from the very beginning. Sorry, but it's because I've said to people, right, sooner, like very quickly, I became into the second lead pipeline. Like, you know what I mean? I'm more of a second lead girly rather than the main one. I don't know what happened. It's always been that way. Like, ever since I watched Vampire Diaries, I was never really into Stefan. I just didn't I just didn't like his vibe. But I was always into Damon. I said Damon is for her. I know that he is. And I think I've also felt that way about Jeremiah. And that's the thing. That's what I mean. I'm Jeremiah and Belly ship. I forgot what their ship's called. I know that but Belly and Conrad are Bonrad, but I don't know what Jeremiah and Belly are. Jeremiah? Did I just make that? Joking. I didn't. Hold on. Yeah, Jelly. Obviously, no, I don't really know the names that crazy. Like, I think I only do know of Bonrad, but I didn't really know Jelly, which is obviously what I am. I am Jelly. Don't come for me. People will be like, why are you Jelly? Do you know what I mean? I don't think people don't like Jelly. And I think that I was watching a TikTok where they were looking at the pictures for season 3, and I think that obviously Jelly is getting a lot of, they're going to be in the thing a lot, versus Conrad. But the thing is, if people read the books and they already know how it's going to end, so they actually shouldn't get upset. Just like, calm down. I haven't read them. I would love to, though. Maybe I should read them afterwards. I don't know what difference that would make. Probably wouldn't make any difference. But I would check. So, yeah. And then it's the funny scene. Remember, he's like, oh, I just saw my brother kissing my belly. And we said, belly? Your stomach? Weird. But we know what that meant. But anywho, thank you so much for listening. Watch the Samurai Called Pretty. But I mean, with caution, because it is quite a upsetting show. Even though obviously it's about romance, but it's still sad. But yeah, watch it, form your own opinion, and even say what side you are, which brother you're going with. I mean, so thank you for listening, and see you in the next one.